Hey guys, it's Ian with IanBlueMusic.com. Today we're going to be going over the first 5 plugins that you need to get when you get FL Studio. Okay, so FL Studio is a great piece of software, but if you're going to be making professional sounding tracks or even really good sounding tracks, you're going to need to get some third-party plugins. Today we're going to be going over the first 5 you need to get, and they're going to be the best bang for your buck, so you're not going to break the bank, but are really going to add a lot to your production game and get you off going on the right foot, so to speak. Anyway, all right, so first things first, you've got this. There's some good synths in FL Studio, but really get yourself a third-party synth. What I recommend is Serum. The cool thing about Serum is that it's pretty affordable compared to a lot of things, $189, and it's got a lot of different styles of sound. So I've got right now pulled up this kind of retro synth. But it also, if you're into something more EDM-y, something like that. That was just a random one I picked. And then also, you can get more presets off Splice. If you don't know what Splice is, I'm not even including it because it's not technically a plugin, but it's an online software that gets you all your samples, and it also has preset packs. It's about $9 a month, and you basically get more samples than you could ever use. Don't buy sample packs, get Splice, and you can get presets for things like Serum, and you can actually, right now I'm renting Serum from Splice. It's a really great place to start, and you're going to get a lot of great sounds, and it just, absolutely, you must have Splice before you get any of these. It's really essential to production in 2020. But one of the things you can do from Splice is download presets for a couple synths, including Serum. So I can say, this is a pretty slow BPM, but that's supposed to emulate the chain smokers. But there's different kinds of cool pads. Different kinds of keyboards. And it just gets you going right off the bat. There's a ton of fun things you can do once you really get into messing around with it, but it's nice to have some presets that are just killer, especially when you're first starting off. So Serum, that is a synth that covers a lot of different sounds. I highly recommend it, whether you're doing hip-hop, whether you're doing R&B, pop, EDM, trap, whatever. Just, it's a good synth to have in your arsenal, and you can get a lot out of it. All right, so you've got a synth. The second thing we're going to get into is vocal processing. Now, I love what FL Studio has as the way of dynamics with their limiter and the compressor that's a part of that. But they are not winning in my book as far as vocal tuning goes. So I recommend getting Waves Tune Real Time. Fruity Loops FL Studio comes with Pitcher, and Pitcher is kind of an auto-tune-like software. I've never gotten it to sound good. It always sounds pretty weird. So maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but that's kind of been the consensus that I've heard. I don't know a lot of people that are using Pitcher. So I would recommend getting Waves Tune Real Time. It's not quite as good as something like Antera's Auto Tune, but that's about $300. So, and this is a lot simpler, and it's only about $47. So I would definitely recommend this, and it gets a good vocal tone, whether you're doing actual more like traditional tuning, or if you want to do something like hip hop and do like that hard tune, auto tune kind of sound.
If I left your house right now, would you even notice? If I poured my feet,
let's do that with it off.
If I left your house right now, would you even notice? If I poured my feelings out.
So that's just tightening it up. But if I go further down the track, you can kind of hear that more super auto tune, I guess you could call it, the hip hop style. You should be with me, baby. All I want is you, and it's not fair. Are you supposed to know me when you
don't care. Tell
So it kind of works for both. It's just a good plugin, and it's really cheap compared to other similar plugins. All right, number 3 is going to be the Native Instruments Mod Pack, and this is probably what you won't hear a lot of people saying, but this is just my opinion. The one of the things that FL Studio really lacks on is good modulation, whether that's chorus or a phaser or a flanger. None of them sound good. One of my favorites that I found is when I got Komplete, which is about $600, so it might be a little bit further down the line. But you can just get the mod pack, which has a chorus, a flanger, and a phaser, and they all sound really good. This is what this one sounds like if I play.
if I left your house right now, would you even notice?
And you won't really be able to hear that super well since I think this records in mono, actually. I apologize. And this is really to make it give a more stereo feel. But I love this, the choral chorus by Native Instruments, and it comes with a pack of 3. I think it's $70, and you get 3 different effects for modulation, which FL Studio seems to be lacking on, in my opinion. All right, next, this is super important. A really good sounding piano. It's taken me a long time to look at different pianos, and there's a lot of decent ones out there, but if you really want something that sounds good, I'm recommending Garritan's CFX Lite, and this is a really simple plugin for a really great sounding piano. So I'll just play a couple chords. It just sounds good. It's one of those things that you'll start to hear over time if you're a new producer, new to FL Studio, that a lot of these pianos just, you can't really make them sound great. This is like a collection of hundreds of thousands of samples of Yamaha recorded in Abbey Road Studios. So it's got a great tone to it. The Lite version is only $59, which is crazy cheap, and I think you can use that to upgrade to the full version, which the full version just gives you access to like different mic placements, and I think it's only like 160. But the other one that people are going to tell you to get is Keyscape, which is great. It's got a million pianos on it and a bunch of different sounds, but it's hundreds of dollars, and it's probably not something you need when you're starting out. But you do need a really good sounding piano, otherwise you're just going to be making tracks that with some uninteresting pianos. I've used a lot of them off Komplete with Native Instruments, and I've used a lot of the ones that are in FL Studio and a lot of different sounds. This is like the best bang for your buck. CFX Lite by Garritan. Super good. All right, last one, number 5, is going to be Komplete Start. I don't have that because I have Komplete, but something that Native Instruments recently started doing is Komplete Start, and that's going to be right here. And this is free. It's free. You get a bunch of starter plugins from Native Instruments. Native Instruments is a really big plugin producer, if you don't know, and you get a bundle of a lot of different demos or full versions of different software. Something that you get a selection of Guitar Rig, which is their guitar processing. So if you're playing guitar, that's a great place to start. A bunch of different synths, some different plugins. Some of these synths that I still use. So it's not just garbage. It's like good stuff. It's just they want to get you in the door with their all their complete stuff and Native Instruments. So they're giving away a selection of it for free. I'm not sure how long they're going to be doing this for. So if you don't have this, go get it. It's free. So I'm going to switch to some of these tabs too. This is the again, it's $59.95 right now at Sweetwater. CFX Lite Virtual Piano, very good. This is actually where I got it from. It worked great. Serum, you can buy it now for $189. You can rent it off Splice for 19 months, $10 a month. That's what I'm doing right now. Komplete Start. This is Waves, $47.99 on sale from $199, which everything is always on sale on Waves. And then last but not least, the Mod Pack Effects Series, Choral, Flare, and Faces. I really love choral and faces. They're a lot better than what you have in FL Studio. So those are the 5 first things to get great vocals, to get great beats, instrumentals. It doesn't really matter what kind of genre you're doing. If you're doing hip hop, if you're doing pop, if you're doing rock, like these are all essential things to have. Some of them more than others, depending on the genre, but definitely something you want when you get started. Everything else you can kind of make do with what's in FL Studio, but these are the kind of things that you really want something a little bit extra sweetness for your modulation and your piano and your synth. You just want a little bit extra, and that's what the professionals are going to be using. So give yourself a leg up on the game. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or any thoughts, maybe there's another plugin that I missed that I should have definitely included on here, go ahead, leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you if you have any questions. But again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.